Hey everyone, Amy the Potter doing some glazing. So, let's go. Let's glaze a picture. I'm gonna pick this up, get it more on my level. We're gonna glaze this picture. Just check it's been waxed. I just mixed up the glaze. So here, let me bring you over and actually get a shot of my view as we glaze. I make a lot of my pieces with lines on them. So when I glaze, I want to glaze right up to the line. And if I miss it, it's okay. I can clean it up pretty well. But first, before I glaze it, I'm going to take a look at this pot, and I'm so glad I did because I'm finding stuff. I'm going to go clean that up real quick. Okie dokie, now we're all cleaned up. I wet sanded it with a diamond core sanding pad, and then I dried it off. Then I wiped it down. I'm finding that one more little spot. This is like a wet sanding pad, getting rid of that, any inconsistencies, and then just a gentle damp wipe, not enough to make a difference with the glazing. Okay, and then I'll just give it one more little spin around here. Make sure everything's all perfect. And here we go. So I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna make sure my pot looks vertical. It's not tipped. Straight up and down. I'm gonna come down here to the pot. Exhale into the line. 3, 4. Okay. And then I shake. First I'll just let it drip. Shake, swivel, shake, swivel, and then I'm going to rotate it upside down. See if I can get that ring off. Okay. I'm trying to avoid having too many wet drips come back up the pot. I know that this glaze, I'll get this popped up here a little bit better. This glaze really shows inconsistency. So where it's thick and thin, it really shows up. So anything that is inconsistent, I'm gonna wanna clean. So the more I can prevent that at this stage, the better. There's a whole lot of cleaning that happens behind the scenes in pottery that I don't know about other potters, but I tend to edit it out. It's kind of boring to watch, but it's a huge part of the process. Constantly doing precision cleaning because it makes such a big difference. Okay, so now, like I said, this glaze is going to show these inconsistencies, so I'm going to come back with my palette knife and just gently shave off that drip line that formed, blending in. I always exhale when I'm doing anything that requires my attention, my precision, that I don't want to mess up. In and out of the studio, constantly exhaling. Okay, so let's see, just give that a little rub down, looks good. Okay, next move is to pour the glaze onto the handle. So I have to find a clean pouring vessel. Not always the easiest thing to find around here. Okay, I think that's another pause in our program so I can clean something out. Okay, so here we go. Next step, pour the glaze over the handle. I'll just use this to mix a little bit. Okay, where you can see it. I'm gonna hold the handle right over the center of the bucket. Exhale and pour. Check the opposite side to make sure I got full coverage. Oh man, what I got is a drip. Okay, so I'm gonna have to So if you know your glazes, then you know, can I touch this glaze? And this glaze is mostly clay, actually. So I can definitely touch clay. And it also dries so fast that I can actually use like my wet sponge on it. Not so fast, but so hard. It actually dries really hard. Okay, so now I'm seeing this little area here where I missed some of the glaze. So sometimes I have to wipe it off, but sometimes I have to put it in. So I'm gonna go back. Let's see if this is actually open. No. See all these little things? So now I have to find a pin tool and open that up. These syringes get blocked up pretty easily, especially this glaze has, I think it's the sodium in the glaze that makes it clog so easily. Okay, now let's see what you can see. I want to be able to see it too, but I want you to be able to see it too. So let's rearrange one more time. Okay, and I'm trying to fill in this little gap there in this ridge here. You can see on this side it just didn't fill to the line. So I'll go back with my breath, my thing pointing downwards, trying not to let it drip, the dreaded drip. Little area where I can't see it very well. And because I have a line in the pot, oops, you can't see that. Because I have a line here, it's going to be really easy to clean it up if I mess it up. So that's one of the reasons I love having these little lines of definition on my pots. They make cleaning really easy when you make a mistake. So for example, in this area, I need to go back with a clean sponge and clean up this one little area. And I can just wipe it to the line. Okay, great. Okay, now the only thing left is to do the top and then do the design. So let's see, now the top is going to be a little more tricky because I have a tight line there, but I can clean right up to that line. So I'm going to look at it on this side, have my hands on the edge of the bucket to stabilize them so I can really check. I'm just hovering above the line of the glaze. I'm going to check that side. Okay, going down. Then I look at the foot and see if it's flat, which this one is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to see it everywhere at once if I can. Go down, 2, 3, and I'll just dip that handle a little bit more to get it to be a continuous line. And that did pretty well. There's a little bit right here that I could fill in. Right there. And there's a little bit, I thought I saw something else. I'm trying to keep this kind of upside down so I don't get the dreaded drip. Right there. Okay. And then I go back with my damp sponge and clean up any messes that I may have made. Okay. Great. And right here. Just getting that line nice and clean. Not everybody does their work like I do, but this is how I do mine. Not everybody is doing this. Okay, now I have to choose a design and then do it. So this is my black. I'm going to cover it up, shake it, turn it upside down, and see if it drips. This is my best tip for doing glaze trailing. If you want to try glaze trailing, when you turn it upside down, you basically want the drip to hang there. And if it does drip, drip slowly. If it doesn't drip at all, it's probably too thin. So what I'm going for is a slow drip. And that means really getting the viscosity exactly where I want it with these. Okay, so I know I'm going to be using black, and I think I'm going to use the chino and the black together. I'm looking around for examples for myself. said instead of chino, I'm going to pick a different color, which is a little bit unlike me, but I'm going to do it. I could pick white, I could pick raspberry. What I think I really want is the sage, which is in here. So sage. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty. We're going to be taking a chance here. And somewhere I have another one of these sage. There we go. Yeah, another, a lot of time in the pottery studio is also spent looking for the thing that you need to find. Okay, so let's see how this one is. That looks like a good slow drip to me. Okay, so here we go. I'll make my design now. One here, one here. I'm planning out my stars. I like making stars and flowers. And one here. That's perfect. Come back with my black to make the stars. And to do this glaze trailing, what I like to do is dab and draw. Dab, draw, dab. And then I just draw that dab out into space, like a star. Okay. Dab and draw. I hope you can see this. Let's see, there must be a better way. Maybe on this side is better. I have to hold it in a way that's really helpful for me. That's so much better than if I had tried to do it the other way. Okay. And sage for the stars. Nice thing about this sage, well, both the sage and the chino have some tin in them. I'm not going anywhere with that. I was going to go somewhere with it, and then I realized I was wrong. So, never mind. I'm not saying anything that makes any sense. Okay, but I'll tell you what I was going to say, which was that if one of them had chrome in it, it would make these sage dots come out more like a rose, which I call desert rose sage. Let's get one more little star up in here. Okay, and that picture is done. Okay, say a little prayer for her. She's gonna be pretty. Double check while she's still in my hands. I think it looks perfect. I'm very happy with this one. Okay, put it down and move on to French butter dishes.